resistance. For a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies are jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poor quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Lie, 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 lie. Hey everyone, welcome to MT Guitar. Hope you're doing well. Today we're doing The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Although more specifically, we're really focusing on how Paul Simon plays it live. I really drew from his 2020 version, which is his latest version as far as I know that he really played. And it was right during the pandemic, directed at New York as sort of a comforting or supportive song for them. Really liked that version because he was just playing the guitar and singing it really stripped down. It's kind of a polar opposite from the studio version, which is very produced. As far as I know, it's the most produced Simon and Garfunkel song. Took about 100 hours to record. So instead of kind of going crazy trying to recreate that studio recording, it's really nice to just zone in on what Paul Simon is doing when he plays it nowadays. And he's changed his parts throughout the years, but what he's done on this 2020 version is basically this. So it's Travis picking, but it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 and for basically all the chords. And then I'll show you some things he does where he kind of strums it once in a while. On the chorus, he completely is strumming. Now, before we kind of zoom in and learn this, there's going to be a full tab of this on the Patreon with the chord sheet. Highly recommend checking that out if you'd like to, support the channel and get access to a bunch of resources. And really appreciate all the patrons there. Thank you so much. Before we zoom in and learn this, though, I just want to point out some music theory about this. Paul Simon, such a great songwriter. Obviously one of the best out there. Really, if we look at the key of C, it's a nice key because there's no sharps and no flats. And we're in the key of C here. Here's your 1 chord. All right, you really should try to wrap your head around Roman numerals because they're actually the most digestible part of a song, right? You have the groove, it's kind of hard to describe. You have the picking pattern, you've got the melody, etc. But really the Roman numerals are just the chords in the song that you can really wrap your head around without too much fuss. All right, so here's your 1 chord. It's a major chord. Then he walks down, this is just C over B for a sec, into the A minor. So this is Travis picking. We'll talk about that in a bit, but here's your A minor. That's your 6th chord. All right, that's called the relative minor. This is going to come back during the chorus, and he's going to really just modulate to A minor. Not even modulate, just lean on the relative minor as the chorus there. So that's the 6th chord. It's always 3 frets down from the root of the key, which is C. There's A. Now the 5 chord, and he does this nice little walk up here. So that's becoming a G6 for a brief second. That's because that's the 6th note of G. It's an E note. Then he goes to F. It becomes a G7. So really, it's just a G. He's just changing the quality of the chord back to the 1 chord. So 1, 6, 5, 1. Now on the second half of the verse, he goes to F over C, which is basically like, here's just a straight F triad. He just adds a C below it. Doesn't even do the thumb thing. You could, but it's not what he's doing. So that's the 4 chord, right? That's the 4th note of C. You can just count these letters, right? C is 1, you count up to F, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 4 chord. G is 5, A is 6. So 4 chords, Pretty awesome. You know, it's something that you'll find repeated throughout so many songs. Now on the chorus, I talked about how he's going to lean on this relative minor. So here's the 6th chord, la la la, and then he goes to the 3 chord. But you can think of this E minor. It is the 3. 1, 2, 3. There's your E. But really, it's the 5 chord of 6. So it can get a bit of a mouthful, but really, if you think of this as the new key, this is actually the 1 chord in minor, here's the 5 chord. Another way to think about it, there's always a couple angles you can do, and it doesn't hurt to think about things in multiple ways like that. But 6 chord to 3 chord if you want to just stick in the key of C. Back to 6, then he goes 5 to get us back to G, does a cool little walk up here, which is basically just G with some fancy footwork, which I'll break down, back to C. And that's the song. So I'll walk you through. This song can be a little tricky with the song form, but the chords in the Travis picking is really not too bad. You know, as you can see, it's not too bad. So there you go. Let's go ahead and zoom in and learn this. And remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon and the thumbs up. Leave a comment if you'd like, just saying hello. It's always nice to hear from you. And let me know, you know, what you'd like to learn next. And I'm going to be doing some theory videos, some blues videos, so please stick around for all that. Enough talking, let's go ahead and zoom in. All right, so for the intro here, it's optional, but this is what Paul Simon did on the version I mentioned. As far as the studio recording, it was a different guitar. I forget the guy's name who played on it, and it was an open G. So Paul almost never does that himself, if ever. As far as the exact studio part, it's a nice part, but I decided to keep this just real contained, one guitar, and to me this is really nice. So instead of tuning your guitar differently just for that one riff, might as well just do this. So it's a descending line, sort of over a G. So 6th fret, 2nd string, and then 1st string open. It's almost a classical style technique here. You want as many strings to ring in as possible. Okay, so 2nd string, then 1st string open, then 7, 5 on the G, and then 2nd string open. Again, letting them ring out, and then 7 on the 4th string, and then 3rd string open. So that whole run is like that. And then 12, 12, 12 harmonics, 4th, 3rd, 2nd strings. So the whole thing. Good. Again, you could just skip that if you want to just go straight into the finger picking. All right, now we have a C chord. Now Paul plays it like this. It's kind of up to you. I always learned Travis picking doing this, so it's kind of a hard habit to break. So I'm going to do this, where I actually move my ring finger to the 6th string, creating a C over G for that moment. You know, if you wanted to do it like this, you wouldn't have to move the finger. Both create pretty much the same exact sound. So there you go, either way. I'm going to do it like this, and there's no better way. It's just one or the other. So now we get to the fun part. This is the Travis picking. You're going to want to get that thumb moving right away. So that's going to be 5th, 4th, 6th, 4th. Those are quarter notes. So this is actually a pretty quick tune, even though you might think, it's not, but it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, quicker than most songs. So doesn't mean you have to practice it fast, but the song of the tempo is that. So 5th, 4th, 6th, 4th, just get that as a warm up. Now we add the fingers. So either you're going to be with the thumb or in between the thumbs, right? Those are the downbeats and upbeats. So we have 5th by itself, 4th and 2nd strings together. Now 6th string by itself, 3rd string, 4th string with the thumb, 2nd string by itself. So it's, and it creates 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then repeat. this is a 4-bar intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we start singing, okay? Really important to get the Travis picking automatic so that if you do want to sing or if you want to just not think too much and play this song, you're sort of on, you know, autopilot as much as you can. All right, now we get into the song. And really knowing the lyrics and the melody, maybe not the lyrics, but at least the melody, being able to hum the melody will help. So I did put the lyrics on the Patreon tab here and there. And I also have a chord sheet where you can just literally sing the song with the chords going by. But either way, you kind of want to have, you know, so the melody sort of going through your ear. So we start here with C major. I'm just a poor boy. 2 bars. And on the 3rd bar, we start there on the 3rd bar, you know, 5th, 4th, and 2nd, but then you go to C over B. But you keep the pattern going. So you go to 2nd fret, 5th string, you release the ring finger, and the middle finger's taken over, so the 4th string's open, that's fine. And you're going to do your second half of the pattern, which is 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd. Then you're at your A minor. And the A minor's there, but we just do the same pattern. Okay, so let's do that so far. 3, oh, I'm just a poor boy. Good. Just one time on the A minor, now we go to G. So now for G, we want this kind of G with the ring on the bass there. And we're now hopping between 6th and 4th. You know, I should slow down here. The A minor, the Travis picking becomes 5th and 4th. We do not go to the 6th like we did on the C. So it's just 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th. Okay. Now when we go to the G, it's 6th and 4th back and forth. Okay. But the fingers are the same. 2nd string, 3rd, 2nd. So this thumb is 6th and 4th, fingers are the same. So after you do a bar, you then hammer on to 2nd fret when you hit the 4th string. Right there. So that creates a G6 for a sec. You can sort of fudge the timing a little bit and it won't make a difference. Paul kind of plays with the timing. You can hammer on a little bit later. It's totally fine. But I would learn it this way for now, and then you can always just mess around later. So it would be 1 bar of G, normal. 2nd bar, when you get to the 4th string, hammer onto the 2nd fret. And leave it there for that bar. 3rd bar, you go to pinky. Now you could either hammer it on or just go straight there. Let's say you go straight there, it would be for the whole bar. So far we'd have, notice how you have to lift your pinky for that. So you don't need the 1st string, totally fine. So 1st bar, 2nd bar, hammer, 3rd bar. Okay, now we just make our way back on the 4th bar, bass, back to 2nd fret, and then open. Notice the pattern's not changing. So the whole phrase there would be, okay, now if you, sorry, I almost didn't go open at the end. Now if you watch closely on my demo, you'll notice that sometimes I'm hammering on the 3rd fret. So that would just be a hammer on same place that the 3 is happening, just with the 2 starting it. It would sound like this. Hammer. Okay, doesn't make a difference, really. I mean, it makes a small difference, but it doesn't change the structure of the song. So there's your G phrase, and we go back to C. That's probably one of the harder parts, so it's okay if you need to take some time on that. Then you go back to C, 2 bars. We've already covered this. Now the 3rd bar is the same as the first line, where on the 3rd bar we go down to B. This is when he says all lies are jest. All lies are, and now A minor, jest. Okay, and then G, just for a bar. Now a new chord here, F over C. So get an F without the thumb. You don't need the thumb, and you don't need the bar. So the 1st string can be open if you want. You could bar the 1st string in case you ever want to play that note. but you don't need it. So it's just these 4 strings, 3, 3, 2, 1. And you're gonna do the same pattern, but 5th and 4th on the thumb. So it'll be 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th. And now you do your C chord. All right, so now we have a little riff. It goes like this. It goes like this. Okay, so that's C, bass, and then 4th, 1st, and 2nd strings together. Okay, then go to G over B. So that's going to be 2003. And you're going to go thumb and 2nd and 3rd strings. Index and middle is covering those strings. So you're going from here to here. Now A minor 7. So that would be 5th string open, 3rd string open, 2nd string 1st fret. Again, pinch. And then you land on a G chord and you just do your pattern. All right, so let's cover that whole line. So it would be F over C. Here we go. Now the C. G. Now this time we do the same riff, but it's truncated into 3 bars instead of 4. So it's 1st bar, normal, 2nd bar, hammer. Now go straight to G7 on the same bar, back to G6, and then open. So that's okay, and then back to your C for 4 bars. That's the first half of the verse. Did I mention how the song form is the tricky part? It's true. I mean, learning this. What chord goes where and how long, that's the trickiest part by far, I think, once you get the Travis picking down. So, you kind of want to get that pattern memorized so that you're done with that, and then you focus on, okay, what's happening with the chords, and not only what's happening with the chords, but what's happening with the melody, so that I know what chord to back it. Then your interlude is just a little break, 4 bars. Good. Now we repeat everything, except we end differently. So we repeat everything. Let's just run for practice. 2 bars. Here's the 3rd bar. C over B, A minor for a bar. Here's the G. Okay, now you're going to do the same thing. Hammer, G7, G6, G, C for 2 bars, right? Now the 3rd bar over B, A minor, G, F over C. F over C for 2 bars, I apologize. Then our C riff. Now we're at the 2nd ending, so instead of doing the G, G6, G7, we just do G for a bar, normal. F over C, C for 2 bars. This leads into the chorus. Lie, la, lie. Okay, so that's a lot. But, run through it slowly, run through it, as many times as you need. For me, it was just repetition, there's no secret, it's repetition. And that kind of getting it in your bones, in your blood, is really the best way to memorize a song form. That being said, that's the verse, and that 2nd ending leads us into the chorus. Now the chorus is quite simple. It's A minor, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now, really what we want to do is, that snare sound in the song, lie, la, lie, pa. It's really reverberated, super cool. They probably did that in an actual echo chamber based on the time, in the 1970 or whatever. So really cool. What we want to do is just strum a little louder, and that's what Paul does. So we're going to go, let's talk about the pattern, then we'll accent that snare sound. So it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, that's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now we want the snare on the 3. So it's 1, 2, and 3. So it's that, 3rd beat, 1, 2, and 3. So it's the 2nd down after the, it's the 2nd time of the pattern of down, down, up. It's that down. It's like down, down, up, down. And you want to just accent it. All right? Lie, la, la. Lie, la, la. And then same thing with the E minor. We go to E minor. Down, up, down. Lie, la, lie. And then you repeat. Okay, this time though, to end the chorus, it's a very short chorus, we go to G. You could just stay on G the whole time if you really just want to speed through this. Okay, totally fine. However, I would recommend what Paul does, which is la 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 la. So you're kind of walking up a G. So you're going down, down, up, then A minor 7, down, down, up, then G over B, back to G. And then you end with the interlude, which is 4 bars of your C pattern. So let's run that chorus. Ready? 3. La la la, la 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 la. Here comes the G. Ready? La 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 la. Nice. All right. Good. You've made it. So that's the song. The only thing left is, well, you just repeat second verse, second chorus, identical. You know, not super easy, but it's just identical. The third verse is different. The third verse, we have a funny thing happening here. So basically what happens is on that first half of the verse, normally after we do the G, you know, you do this. And then normally we go C for 2 bars. And then we walk down to B to A minor, right? Well, in this case, that C leads us into E minor instead. So he goes straight to an E minor instead of the C over B to A minor. So it's E minor for 2 bars. And this is where he says, leading me, and then A minor. Going home. And then he goes to G. And then it's the 3-bar phrase where he goes to G6, G7. You know, going home. G6, G7, G6, G, and then back to your interlude. Okay, that's it. And then the second half is the same as the first 2 verses. So there's a little deviation. Nice songwriting by Paul. He was able to throw in these little alterations and just adds a lot to the song. So there you go. You've got the whole song to mess around with. And remember to enjoy, go slow. Think of the melody as you play would be my parting words here. Just, you know, try to hear that melody, because otherwise it might drive you a little crazy if you're trying to memorize all the chords without that melody. All right? And enjoy. See you next time.